Hey everybody, I'm SB Pearce and I am a horror writer and poet, and this is part 6 of my series where I'm talking about my latest novel, Supine, that is available on Ingram and Amazon. Now, in the previous episodes, I've talked about the cover art, the interior art, I've read the dedication and the disclaimer, and now I want to share with you the afterword. Now, the afterword to me was a very personal experience. This is about my oldest sister, Rachel. I wanted my readers to understand the communication types that had to be used throughout the book as he was healing. These are actual things that people that are nonverbal can do or can use or do use can for to be able to communicate. So these are real things, and I've been working with them basically since I was born. So let me share that with you now. I was inspired to write my tale by my oldest sister, Rachel. She has spent the entirety of her life trapped inside of her own body. She influences me in many ways beyond this novel, and she has served as my muse for every accomplishment I have ever achieved. Being aware but incapable of movement or speech can happen either by injury, illness, or nature. In my novel, the main character was severely injured in an accident that left him temporarily immobile and incapable of speech. He was immobilized, yes, but not paralyzed. He was able to regain his speech and his ability to move as he did not suffer from damage to his spinal column or to his brain. My sister suffered an injury during birth that we believe led to her having mixed cerebral palsy. She is unable to walk, talk, use her hands, or care for herself. When she was diagnosed as a toddler, the medical experts assumed she would not live past the age of 12 due to the severity of her CP. She's been proving them wrong for decades. Regardless of her diagnosis, Rachel attended public school and received her high school diploma. She was born just at the dawn of the era of mainstreaming students with disabilities into regular schools. Thankfully, at that time, our family lived in an area that fostered this progressive move. Rachel has participated in the Special Olympics and in Hands Across America. She has traveled to see her favorite musicians in Nashville and has met several of them personally. She's been featured in the local newspaper on several occasions and has given speeches to organizations. She has made art, written her life story, and is currently working on a blog that I hope to help her publish. Before computers, cell phones, and tablets, communication was difficult, but not entirely impossible. For years, she used what is called a bliss board. It was a wooden tray attached to the armrest of her wheelchair. It contained a grid of letters, words, and symbols with spaces to add new phrases or concepts as needed. The symbols were created by Charles K. Bliss in 1949 as a form of universal language that he called, I think I'm saying this correctly, semantography. Although it was not developed specifically for people with special needs, he was delighted when he first learned that his language was being used to help them communicate. There is more to that story, but I won't write it here. It's not necessarily pleasant, so that's why I won't write about it. Rachel's bliss board required massive concentration and physical effort due to the spasticity in her arms, but she was able to carry on conversations by sliding her hand to point to the words she wanted to say. When she was out of her chair and not able to access her bliss board, we would use the blinking method I describe in my novel. Today, she communicates with an assistive device, a Prenke-Romic accent, which is a hands-free tablet that responds to a tiny reflective dot on her glasses. When her device is on the fritz or the battery needs recharged, we still use the blinking method. There is a certain beauty in communicating this way. You must maintain eye contact and you must hear with all of your senses, sometimes even with your sixth one, and always with common sense too. I will say that when you learn, let me re-say that because I'm getting a little teary. Sorry. I will say that when you learn to listen to someone that works that hard to share their thoughts, you learn patience, you learn humility, and you learn gratitude. Growing up, I always wanted to know if she'd ever had visitors like my character. I was always too scared to ask her. Now that we are adults, I think it's time. So yeah, very personal. If you enjoy that, keep following along. I have more parts coming soon, but that's it for now.